I believe that US presidential elections tell us the big trends that are coming. In the same way that Formula One tells you kind of the technology that's coming in cars, US presidential elections tell you the technology that's coming in marketing.
So I first heard your name in the context of this Key Person of Influence book a few years ago. I forget why, and I'm glad you brought this fresh copy because my copy is very well read, very well travelled, and probably doesn't even say Key Person of Influence on it anymore. But I mean, listen, I'm a massive advocate for personal branding. I mean, I've been, let's say, working on building mine over the last few years. But one of the things I always talk about with personal branding is that, for all the people who say, "Oh, I don't want to do that thing. I'm not into personal branding," I would say you will have one anyway. You know, we have a personal brand whether we like it or not. You know, whether that's a CEO of a business, whether it's the receptionist. You know, that to me, that personal brand is just your character traits. You know, what you're known as and how people see you. Now, whether or not you want to be seen in the way people see you, and whether or not you've amplified it enough, I guess, is a different question. But we all hear about people talk about personal brand all the time now. But I mean, for me, you know, your book and particularly your methodology came out long before the words personal branding even really existed. Certainly long before it's been bashed all around the internet. I mean, how did you, I guess, come to know and understand all the things that you've written about in the book? And am I right in saying that it was very much, well, I know it was very much before anyone was talking about it now, but I mean, did people understand branding at all back then, or were you really the first person to put this in words?
I wrote the book in 2009 and the book came out in 2010. So it's really early. Like, no one was talking about it at the time, not in a serious way and not in a structured way. The thing that I noticed was, so I believe that US presidential elections tell us the big trends that are coming. In the same way that Formula One tells you kind of the technology that's coming in cars, US presidential elections tell you the technology that's coming in marketing. So in the 1930s, Franklin Roosevelt started this thing called the fireside chat, which was a radio conversation, and then national radio overtook print. And then in 1963, JFK had a televised debate with Nixon, and that signified television as the big technology. And then fast forward to 2008, we've got Obama Everywhere, which was a social media campaign, and it won him the election. His engagement on social media was the thing that gave him an edge in 2008. And for me, that signified that the big thing that's happening is this social media revolution, that it's no longer a toy, it's not something that kids do, it's actually a proper serious way to win a presidential election. So I was really deeply up to my elbows in trying to understand, how does this work? How did he do it? How did he use it? What could we learn from it? So I started kind of delivering little mini talks and workshops about it, and started to kind of unpack it in some slides, and wrote some blogs and articles about it. Basically said, you've got to position yourself as a key person of influence. You've got to build your reach. This is going to be more important than your company brand, more important than your product brands. Basically, the opening line of the book is something like, in every industry, there are key people of influence. Their names come up in conversation. They can get more things done. They can launch products. They can raise money. They have more fun. You need to become one of these key people of influence. So I was really kind of gunning for this idea that you should push a personal brand as one of the key strategies for your marketing. But prior to learning about it and studying it from then, I mean, did you see yourself as a key person of influence? I mean, did you have a brand and I guess some of those traits anyway? Not massively. I was an event marketing and promotions business. So the business that I grew was an agency that specialized in running events. And we would launch new products and services into new markets. It was nearly impossible to do that without a personal brand at the front. So this is my experience of seeing personal brands. We used to partner with maybe a software company and say, okay, who's the best person to capture everyone's attention so that they'll show up and see the launch? Or we'd do something in like financial services, and we'd try and find the right speaker for everyone, 300, 400, 500 people to show up so that we could launch, this new financial services brand. So I'd been doing this for 10 years, and I knew exactly what worked. I knew the type of person that would work on a stage. I knew the type of person that could attract an audience, make sales, create a buzz. So I was behind the scenes picking these people. And I had a checklist as to what I was going to pick. And I used the checklist as the formula for the book.
I remember seeing it for the first time in action, or first time I saw it anyway, probably around just before you wrote the book, actually, about 2008, 2009. Jordan Belfort he'd just written the book. The movie hadn't happened, but he'd just written the book, and the book was out. And I remember my mate saying to me, "Oh, look, you won't believe it. Jordan Belfort's coming to talk in Leeds." I'm thinking, what the hell is he? He was coming to the Metropole Hotel, which was this small little hotel with a tiny function. I'm thinking, what the hell is he doing there? So because it's a free talk, let's sign up. So we signed up to this free talk. Obviously, we found out afterwards that he was effectively being put on by some Liverpudlian property developer to say, and in the run up to the talk, we'd be getting email after email of, quite ironic at the time that Jordan Belfort was recommending these various investments, but please buy this Liverpool property for 20% below market value. But it's the concept's great. Drags us all in. We sit there, listen to Jordan's speech, and then when he jumps off stage, we get pounced on by salesmen to buy all these various property developments.
The old bait and switch.